I would like to first of all start this video off by saying that my thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to the victim's family. Somebody lost their life this morning at 3:37 a.m. in Las Vegas after Henry Ruggs was driving under the influence in a car crash and took someone's life. Now, the second thing I want to say is the only NFL talk I do here on my YouTube channel is when it comes to the Jaguars. I don't talk about the rest of the NFL community, but this is more important than football. This is an important topic that I felt the need in my heart to talk about. At the end of the day, forgetting football as much as I love football, I'm a human first. I have sympathy and I have empathy and I have love for all humans, regardless of race, religion, color, creed, and sexual orientation. I love everybody. And I think everybody is good in their heart. And I look at everybody for the contents of their heart and not through their flaws. And that leads me on to the first thing I'd like to discuss. Henry Ruggs, I would like to say, is probably not a bad person. I don't know the guy personally, of course. He was just a first-round pick a couple years ago. But I know that there's going to be people out there, and I understand why, but I don't agree with it, that are going to label him as a bad person. Henry Ruggs is a young man who made a terrible decision that's going to probably end up costing him his livelihood and obviously his NFL career. He's going to have to live with remorse and guilt for the rest of his life. That is not something he can ever take away. And that family will never get that victim's life back. There's no money that will equate to that. So Henry Ruggs, I want to be very clear, is not a bad person. Do not label Henry Ruggs as a bad person. He's a young man who made a very horrible decision. Now, I understand he could have called an Uber. There's no excuses for him to do that, but he was lacking common sense in his decision making, which is understandable because he was intoxicated. Now, that does not excuse his actions, and I'm not condoning his actions, but at the end of the day, I believe in everyone having second opportunities in this life. Now, I'm not saying that he should be let off the hook. That's not what I'm saying. Please do not twist my words. But I do believe that people grow from their mistakes. No matter how bad their mistakes are, as long as they show improvement, I like to look at people and give people the benefit of the doubt. Like I said, I'm not condoning his actions, but what happened with Henry Ruggs is something he's going to have to live with remorse and guilt for the rest of his life. And I want people to realize that this is probably a wake-up call. Every single day, I wake up and I'm grateful. I'm grateful I'm alive, I'm healthy, I'm well, I have loved ones around me. I spread peace, love, and positivity. And yeah, I'm human, I have my bad days. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful. If you're watching this video right now, be grateful. You're on a cellular device or you're on a laptop. You have some kind of form of technology in order to watch this. That's more than a lot of people have. Breathing, walking, talking, literally anything is a blessing. Okay? And I just want people to understand that tomorrow's not promised. And I know you guys know that. Tomorrow is never promised. But at the end of the day, we have to do our best to continue to support one another, love one another, and continue to just fight through the everyday struggles of life. Life is not easy. And this should be a wake-up call because God rest his soul and God rest her soul. But the whole situation with Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant, that hit everyone really hard last year. And it was a wake-up call to be like, damn, I need to seriously take the time to appreciate everyone I have in my life because tomorrow's not promised. Same thing recently with Alex Baldwin. A freak accident happened with the whole prop gun. And I'm not even going to get too deep into that. But he's going to have to live with remorse and guilt for the rest of his life, knowing he took someone's life by accident. And same thing with Henry Ruggs. Henry Ruggs never had the intentions of taking someone's life. He made a poor decision, and that ends up costing him. And I want this to be a wake-up call. Do not drive under the influence. Do not text and drive. Be safe. Be smart. Drive sober. I shouldn't have to say this stuff, but I want people to understand that this is a wake-up call to appreciate life, appreciate the people and the ones around you. And that brings me on to something else too when it comes to the Raiders organization, okay? Imagine how the players in that locker room are feeling. I don't think a lot of people are going to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up. Imagine how those players are feeling. Imagine how the whole organization's feeling. The first thing that happened with the Raiders was they had their new stadium. Cool, good for them. Everyone's looking forward to this year too. We're getting back to full capacity and everything. And then the whole situation with Max Crosby, when he came out openly as a gay player, I think that was an amazing thing. And people should rally around him. And they did. Because he did something that a lot of people wouldn't do, is open up. And I think that's amazing. So you had that situation go on. Then you had the John Gruden situation go on, which was horrendous. And John Gruden deserves all the criticism for his actions. Absolutely, because that wasn't a one-time mistake. And that's not a mistake. That is the content of his heart. John Gruden showed his true colors time in and time out over an 8-year span. Imagine how the players and the people in the organization felt, the people that trusted him or had to look up to him as a coach. Those guys were probably very emotional and had to go through a lot mentally. And now this situation with Henry Ruggs. Imagine looking over in the locker room and your brother's not there anymore. Or because he made a huge mistake. How do you think these guys are going to respond to that? This is bigger than football. This is much bigger than football. God forbid Henry Ruggs lost his life as well, but thankfully he's alive, okay? Could you imagine what those players and everyone in that organization is feeling right now? Right now, as we speak. They're devastated. If I'm devastated, I could only imagine how they feel. And as I said, this is bigger than football. And I just want people to understand that everything's bigger than football. You can't take life for granted. Tomorrow's not promised. Be grateful for every little thing you have and know that you're doing better than others and that others don't have it so good because they don't have the same opportunities or maybe they're not as healthy, whatever the case may be. Appreciate your life, appreciate others around you, and use this as a wake-up call. And just take the time to tell the ones you love around them that you have in your love circle that you love them. So I don't want to carry this on too long. And I don't want people to label Henry Ruggs as a bad person. He's a young man who made a very bad mistake. And my thoughts and hearts and prayers go out to Henry Ruggs as well, including the victim and the victim's family and friends. Thank you.